What are your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
What do you think's going to
Bitcoin.
happen with Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
What are your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
Should I buy Bitcoin?
Bitcoin. All right, I'll do a video on Bitcoin. Alright, some of you have been watching some posts that I've been putting out on my predictions on Bitcoin. I've been bang on and how I've managed to predict a further push down, and we have seen that over the last week, and how I actually I'm predicting that there's going to be even further movement down now. So I want to explain to you what that's all about and how I've been able to predict those moves. So I'm going to take you into the office and give you my thoughts on Bitcoin. Alright, I finally decided to do a video on Bitcoin, and it's down to the fact really that if I had £1 for every time someone asked me about what I thought about Bitcoin, I would be worth more than if I put all of my investments into Bitcoin in 2009 and took them out this year. So here goes. Now, anyone who follows me on social media, you might have noticed that at the beginning of January, 1st of January, I started tracking Bitcoin and making predictions on what I thought Bitcoin was likely to do next. And I only started sharing my predictions in January because there was certain things happening in the market, and I'm going to share those with you, and why I think that we could start to potentially look to trade Bitcoin now rather than just jump on the hype. So now the first thing you need to know is Bitcoin is very young. It hasn't been around very long, and we've recently seen a lot of hype. Now when people have asked me over the years, you know, what you think about Bitcoin, really for me it was an investment. It was whether or not you believed in the asset, whether you believed in the future of it, what it stood for, and if anyone who's familiar with Warren Buffett owns a huge, I think he's the second largest shareholder in Coca-Cola, and he's the most successful investor in the whole world, and he believes in investing in assets that he believes in, that he knows in and out, inside and out. And really, because of the age of Bitcoin, the only way that he was going to make money is if he was happy for that long-term investment, to buy and hold. Now, if you have the psychology or the mental ability to do that, and if you don't think that psychology is a big part of investing or trading or speculative trading, please don't spend another penny in the markets at all. All right, so up until that point, we saw a lot of hype in the market, and particularly this year, or 2017, last year, we saw the market rocket. All right, so without going into the technicals of trading and exchanges and things like that, just understand that the currency market's slightly different to the stock market. Stock market, you're buying shares out of a pot and you're putting those shares back when you want to give them back, and they're all in a centralized exchange. And it's very common for people to believe that there needs to be more buyers and sellers to push a market up, right? With currency, you have to think slightly differently, because for every buyer, there has to be a seller on the other side of that transaction, and that's what makes the markets move. Now, the currency markets, they can move hundreds of billions of dollars, but just move sideways and not get too excited. You don't see all these big bullish moves or bearish moves. They can move hundreds of billions of dollars and just happily bounce sideways. But what really moves the market is when people feel the need to get into a position quickly, and when all the hype is surrounded by that and lots of people feel the need to get into a position quickly, that's when we see the markets rally up. And that's when I want to talk about what drives the market, and it's essentially greed and fear. So what we've seen is Bitcoin, very fresh and new, coming to the market, and we've seen the hype get stronger and stronger. We've even seen celebrities endorse Bitcoin. There's people out there, anyone familiar with Tai Lopez, for instance, he doesn't pretend to be, you know, a currency expert, but he's been hyping up Bitcoin. He's had his team hyping up Bitcoin, and there's all these people hyping up Bitcoin, and what that does is it injects greed into the market. People don't want to get left out. So if any of you have been having, you know, lunch at work and you're talking to your mate about Bitcoin, and your mate got in last week and he earned £300, £400, £1,000, whatever it was. That is all based on greed, because you don't want to miss out, so you think, I'm going to take a punt at that, I'm going to get in. Now, the more people that do that, go back to my earlier statement of saying the need to get into a position quickly, and what that does is it very quickly makes the market rally. We get this big rally up, but then what happens is we start to see the next emotion, which is fear. So there'll be talk, yeah, but it can't last for long. Yeah, but, you know, it's a bubble. It's going to burst soon. Can't go up forever. All of these thoughts go into people's heads and they start selling off their position. This is going to go back to the psychology statement I made as well. If you think that you could hold a position forever and ever, that's very much from a hindsight perspective, and you will not do well trading the markets. You have to understand that trading is 80 to 90% psychology related, and the rest is just technicals and strategies. So what happens is, as the market pushes up, all of those shoulda, woulda, couldas who said, oh, should have sold out right here, they've already sold down here. And what happens is the market starts to slow down, and we see this causes more fear, and then it gets in the press. Oh, Bitcoin's dropped, Bitcoin slowed down, so-and-so sold off their Bitcoins, you know, it's gonna drop, the bubble's gonna burst, and what we see is a massive decline, which is what we saw. So that's when I started sharing my predictions with you, because now what we're seeing is everyone who had no idea about the markets and how they move, and it was all moving the market on hype, now we've got all these celebrities getting their teams, their technical analysts, yeah, but it's not going to go down forever, right? Please, you know, how can we, and we've had all these people creating courses on how to sell Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin, and how to invest in Bitcoin. Now they're thinking, oh dear, we're going to see a decline here, and I actually have no idea what I'm doing. So this is where I come in, because my style of trading, my understanding of technical analysis and patterns that have stood the tests of time are what's allowed me to earn an abundance of wealth from the Forex market. So now I'm interested. Now I'm looking at the markets and I'm looking at everyone around going, oh yeah, but, and you get all these new experts talking about patterns and wedges and flags and heads and shoulders, and all of a sudden price action starts to respect the psychological levels in the market, just like every other market. So now we're starting to see that markets have respected some certain levels in the market, certain patterns are happening in the market that are allowing people like me and other traders that have been monitoring this and waiting for this moment to be able to apply our strategies to this market and earn lots of money from this as well. So how did I predict the move? Well, simply, this is no different to a strategy that I would use in other currencies. It's applicable to every other market, and it's a strategy that's and a pattern in the market that's stood the tests of time. So now I know I have a high probability of being right, and I'm going to win more when I'm right than I lose when I'm wrong, and that's the side of the market I want to be on. So with that said, up until this point it was just an investment. It was up to you whether or not you believed in it or not. Do you have the psychological mentality to ride this up and take profits at the top? Just so happens we capped off at the 20,000 even handle number, and then we start to dip down. We get a lot of experts jump on board, we get people taking it seriously, and then we start to respect those patterns and those levels in the market that have stood the test of time. So now we can start looking at Bitcoin and looking at how we can trade it. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you please go and share this with everyone, because there's lots of people out there that are wondering what Bitcoin's all about. Should I get in? Should I get out? Why has it done this? Why has it done that? It's going to drop. The chances are they have no idea about Bitcoin. They have no idea how to read price and what the market's all about, why the markets move.
and that's where I come in. I teach people how to read the market, literally give you a fishing rod so you can go and catch as many fish as you can. And please don't place another trade until you know what you're doing, because as I said, every time you lose money in the market not knowing what you're doing, piece of me dies. So please share this around. You know, get a group together. Understand this video, learn a bit more, go over to tier1trading.com. Myself, Akil and Darren, we teach this stuff. It's allowed me to live a very prosperous lifestyle, and I want to teach you how you can do the same as well. So go over to tier1trading.com and I'll see you there.